tested positive for fentanyl and methamphetamine.
It's a growing concern spreading across Washington and Oregon. Tonight on Apple Valley News Now, why experts say you shouldn't even touch a stolen car without taking one specific step. And we talked to the Yakima Fire Chief about the blaze that destroyed the old Sea Gallery building in Union Gap, what they know so far about the investigation. And if you're planning on hitting the road or taking to the skies for the Thanksgiving holiday, you may have some nasty weather to compete with, but you need to know before you go.
And I'm tracking those chilly overnight lows with a chance of fog or freezing fog overnight. All the details coming up in your First Alert weather forecast.
This is Apple Valley News Now, prime time, on your side.
Thanks for joining us on this special edition of Apple Valley News Now. I'm Alyssa Warner. Richland police say they've gotten more than 24 reports of people trying to or succeeding in stealing Kias and Hyundais in the region so far this month. Now, years ago, you might hope to get a stolen vehicle back with nothing more than a few dings. Now, there's danger that you might not even recognize until it's too late. It's a story you'll only see on Apple Valley News Now.
I test anywhere between 10 to 15 to 20 vehicles a week. 98% of the vehicles I test all test positive.
Biomanagement Northwest owner John Stavros says he first found fentanyl in a vehicle while testing a stolen truck in Kennewick about 2.5 years ago.
There was a white powdery residue in a crew cab pickup truck. What they were doing is they had laid out fentanyl and probably meth together, and they were mixing the two on the back seat. And I started noticing a trend from Portland going up the I-5 corridor, and now it's just everywhere.
Everywhere is right. Clearwater Collision and towing manager Colton Dean says 9 out of 10 cars they've tested in the past 3 years have come back positive for fentanyl and meth.
One of the things that we wish people knew is that there's just a high chance that there's drugs on the inside. We've had cars that have been stolen for 1 day and it's tested positive for fentanyl. We've had vehicles that have been stolen for 3 weeks and it tested positive. So sometimes it's hard to see when there's actually fentanyl on the inside. Fentanyl is extremely dangerous. A dose the size of a few grains of salt can be deadly, especially if you don't realize that you've been exposed.
I've had customers that have actually gotten their vehicles out of impound, drove it out, were ecstatic to get the vehicle back, made it back as far back as their driveway, their house, and passed out. We have no idea what the levels of purity of fentanyl are in these vehicles. I've seen ones that came back that were extremely high and that you didn't see any residue.
Testing can take a few days, and while insurance often covers the cost, you might have to file some extra paperwork or ask specifically for your vehicle to be tested. But both Stavros and Dean say the extra step is critical.
The big thing I want to emphasize again is for people, if they get their vehicle back, not to get in the vehicle. Don't get in it. Don't get in the vehicle. Don't get in it. So don't get in the vehicle. So it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. It's not worth going inside the car. It's not worth seeing what's in there, what's not in there, checking the glove box. It's not worth going inside the vehicle no matter what the circumstances is until it gets tested for those drugs. Now, fentanyl is a growing problem all across the country, and some of the work to get ahead of that crisis is happening right here in our own backyard. I sat down with one of the experts at PNNL to talk about how they're working to figure out what might be coming next. And we'll take a closer look at that research coming up tomorrow on Apple Valley News Now at 6. The last Sea Galley in the country closed down in Union Gap. It was set for demolition this week, but before that could happen, the building went up in flames. Yakima Fire Chief Aaron Markham says it's unclear what caused the fire on Friday night because gas and power had already been shut off to the building in preparation for demolition. The chief says he did speak with the property owner who said they've had issues with people trying to break in since the restaurant shut down. Chief Markham says getting evidence about what caused the fire might be easier said than done.
But unfortunately, when we tore into it to get to the fire because of the roof collapsing, that was the area of origin. So a lot of the evidence about finding it even more detailed of where it started is destroyed.
Now, the fire chief says investigators are looking for footage from nearby security cameras to see if anyone was nearby or may have entered the building before that fire started. Fire crews from Kennewick, Benton County, Pasco, and Richland worked to put out a fire that damaged several buildings on Sunday. The call came in just before 5 p.m. to the 800 block of West Klamath Avenue. Witnesses reported seeing grass on fire that had spread to several mobile homes, and it was nearing a commercial building in the area. Fire crews at the scene said the wind gusts caused the fire to spread quickly, and several power lines were also damaged. At least one person was taken to the hospital, and fire officials say not all of the pets have been accounted for. It took crews about 2 hours to get the fire under control. At this time, the cause is not yet known. The Benton Franklin Health District says there are several places throughout the community that are acting as temporary warming shelters as temperatures continue to drop. So there are many buildings offering heating and a safe environment for people to stay inside during normal business hours. Those services have been extended to Benton City, Colotis, Connell, and Basin City. The Health District is partnering with 211 on this project. 211 helps people in need connect with community services like utility assistance, food, housing, and health. And much of the country could be dealing with some tough weather as you make your way to your Thanksgiving destinations. What'll it be like in our part of the country? Stacey Lee joins us now with your first alert weather forecast.
Well, things are looking good, albeit on the chilly side. Look at this. We're already in the 20s in Ellensburg at 29. It's 30 right now in Yakima, dropping below that freezing level. We're going to get there tonight in the Columbia Basin, a little bit warmer there in the foothills of the Blues. But yes, that cold front moved down yesterday from Canada, and we're seeing temperatures much cooler tonight than we were just 24 hours ago. We are 10 degrees colder in Ellensburg right now, 6 degrees in Tri-Cities, and 3 degrees cooler tonight in Walla Walla. So very cold weather continues. Now, tracking visibility as far as fog goes, we're looking pretty good so far tonight. However, we could see that fog and freezing fog develop overnight. 35 right now in our Legends Casino Sky Cam. Our feels like temp is 31. It's chilly out there. We're looking for that patchy fog, as I said. Chance of midweek showers, but things are looking pretty good as we get towards Thanksgiving. Going to be clear and cold there. I'll get to all the details in your First Alert full weather forecast. Alyssa.
Thanks, Stacey. Police arrested a student at Richland High School this morning for allegedly bringing a BB gun to campus. Authorities say they were called just after 10 o'clock this morning after school security found out about the student carrying the gun in their waistband. The school was placed on lockdown and officers tracked down the student and arrested them. The student was taken to the Juvenile Justice Center and has been expelled from Richland High School. And developing news tonight, the West Richland City Council held a special meeting this evening. The suggested motion to sanction a member of the council. Now, this stems from comments made at this month's City Council meeting in regards to allowing recreational cannabis shops within West Richland city limits. At least 3 complaints were made against council member John Smart. One of those complaints says his comments implied a direct threat against anyone who had a different opinion than his. A member of the West Richland Planning Commission says Councilmember Smart doesn't understand the democratic process of the city because at that November 7th meeting, he claimed the Planning Commission wasn't doing their job and that people who were in those positions weren't there for the right reasons. Another complaint stated that Smart's threats that he would take, quote, appropriate notice of any council member who voted on approving the pot shops was a clear violation of the city's values. Now, the City Council is expected to hold a vote tomorrow evening at their regular meeting on allowing pot shops within city limits. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which millions of people turn to for support, is now struggling to keep up with the demand. Since launching in July of 2022, the hotline has gotten 2.5 million calls. It's expected to receive 6.5 million by the end of this year. The hotline is still not functioning at full capacity. Officials say the problems are the absence of mental health resources, a lack of awareness, and not enough stable funding. The federal government invested nearly $1 billion in the hotline program, but in at least half of the states, there's no pending legislation to provide financial support of the line. Tonight, we're bringing you an update to a story that we've been covering for the past few weeks. Several livestock organizations in the Pacific Northwest have now signed a joint letter asking the U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife to put a stop to reintroducing grizzly bears into the North Cascades. Now, along with some federal organizations, the Washington Cattlemen's Association, the Washington Cattle Feeders Association, the Washington and Oregon Farm Bureaus, and organizations in Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana have all signed on to this letter. One of the biggest highlights in the letter says that grizzly bears will be a significant risk to the lives of ranchers, their livestock, and the lives of their communities. They say it will also place a financial burden on them because of the cost of grizzly protection from their properties. You can catch up with the story over on our website, applevalleynewsnow.com. Also continuing coverage tonight of the University of Idaho murders. A judge has now ruled that media cameras are no longer allowed in the courtroom during proceedings involving suspect Bryan Kohberger. Now, the order states that the court will record the proceedings and the live stream will be posted to YouTube. A coalition of media outlets, including Apple Valley News Now, had argued the public has a right to witness the court proceedings. But this decision means that anyone in the courtroom will not be allowed to record video or audio or take pictures during future hearings. In other headlines tonight, an oil leak off the coast of Louisiana may have spilled more than 1 million gallons of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. The Coast Guard says the leak was discovered Thursday near Plaquemines Parish. Authorities say the 3 skimming vessels are working to remove the oil from the ocean's surface. Now, Main Pass Oil Gathering operates the 67 miles of pipeline there. The Coast Guard is still working to figure out the full extent of the spill. The Supreme Court has struck down a petition from the former Minneapolis police officer convicted in the killing of George Floyd. Derek Chauvin's lawyers appealed on the basis that Chauvin had not, they said, received a fair trial. They claimed that jurors in his case may have had a vested interest against acquitting Chauvin out of the fear of instigating more violence. The U.S. Supreme Court rejected that appeal without comment and without a recorded vote. Now, Congress is demanding answers about Live Nation and Ticketmaster's policies. A Senate subcommittee issued a subpoena to the entertainment company saying it has refused to supply documents about its business practices. Many concert goers had trouble accessing its website last year to get Taylor Swift concert tickets. And the debacle raised serious questions about the company's ticket pricing, fees, and resale policies. A spokesperson says the company has voluntarily worked with the Senate subcommittee, but wants some of its business practices to remain confidential. And Taylor Swift postponed her concert in Rio de Janeiro on Saturday after a fan on Friday collapsed and died before the concert started. Swift posted on Instagram that she puts the safety and well-being of her fans, her fellow performers, and her crew first. Temperatures in Brazil soared above 130 degrees Fahrenheit over the weekend, and the singer said she's devastated by her fan's death and feels, quote, overwhelmed by grief. Now, it's unclear if that show will go on. Funeral services for former First Lady Rosalynn Carter have now been set. The public will be able to pay their respects when the family motorcade carries her remains to Georgia Southwestern State University, her alma mater, on Monday, November 27th. There will be a wreath laying and repose starting at 11 a.m. and tribute service that takes place on Tuesday the 28th at 1 p.m. The funeral service itself will be November 29th, also at 11 a.m. Let's take a look outside. Long past dark tonight, but we are talking about some cooler weather, what that means for your Thanksgiving travel plans coming up. And still ahead on Apple Valley News Now, there's a surge of upper respiratory infections taking the region by storm. Multicare in Yakima now says it's being stretched to its limits. Emily Goodell's story on that when we come back.
There is a place where magic seems to hide around every corner, where cherished memories are born in twinkling snowflakes, where enchanting adventures await all who explore. Where is this real-life winter wonderland? Nestled by the lake is Coeur d'Alene's Holiday Light Show, an experience you will never forget. Discover Santa's all-new North Pole with holiday getaways starting at only $250.
Time for a new roof? Let M&M Roofing replace it with a product so good you'll never have to replace it again. Our roofs come with a limited lifetime warranty. Never replace your roof again. And with the rain, snow, and wind comes roof damage. Don't wait till it's an emergency. Get your free roof assessment today. So if it's time for a new roof or siding, let M&M Roofing replace it with our certified installers.
Because when it's all said and done, this is the sign you'll want in your yard.
Did you see this? It says most people are going to need long-term care that health insurance and Medicare won't cover.
I saw that, and it got me thinking, if I need to pay for home modifications or in-home care, I am not prepared. Are you?
Not really. I mean, whatever happens, I just want to know that I'll be able to get care and stay in my own home as I age.
Right? I want that too. So,
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
Plan your next getaway in your new vehicle from Spec Hyundai during the Getaway Sales Event. Get the best deals of the year on the Hyundai Palisade, Kona, Santa Fe, Sonata, and more. We have over 100 new Hyundais in stock to choose from. Drive one home today and enjoy no payments until 2024. Have a vehicle you're looking to trade in? We want it. Get amazing deals, the lowest rates, and the most for your vehicle during the Getaway Sales Event. Spec Hyundai, a family automotive tradition since 1912.
I'm loving a pizza, loving a pizza. Tony's Big Cheese Pizza, loving a pizza. I've been loving a pizza, Tony's Big Cheese Pizza, and Yakima's Hometown Pizzeria. Stop by, we can't wait to see you. The freshest, tastiest pizza around, no need to drive all over town for great pizza. Tony's Big Cheese Pizza, I've been loving the pizza, more pizza.
Whatever the holidays mean to you, get the most out of them in a new Honda. Whether it's dropping off presents in a sporty Civic or picking up a few for yourself in a fun-to-drive HR-V. Your holiday adventure awaits with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Portions of Apple Valley News Now, sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Welcome back. Yakima County health officials say the first flu death of the season has been reported to the health district. The patient was between the ages of 30 and 49, and health officials say they've seen a spike in flu cases in just 1 month's time, up 8.6% from just 1% the first week of October. Health officials say the holiday season is when people need to be especially vigilant because there are so many gatherings of people. Now, Multicare Yakima Memorial Hospital officials say flu season is hitting a little earlier this year, and it's hitting them particularly hard. Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell tells us the hospital has seen a surge in respiratory illnesses the past week and is now at capacity.
With sometimes more than 250 patients coming into the emergency room every day, the wait times are long. And while the hospital is still accepting patients, they're having a hard time finding beds for them.
The activity pickup is similar to what we would see in earlier surges in the COVID pandemic. So it's got our attention.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Tanny Davenport says they're seeing more cases of RSV and COVID, but the spike is mostly influenza cases.
It's very similar to other flu seasons in that the people with comorbid conditions and are elderly are the ones who are being hospitalized with influenza.
The influx of patients is putting stress on the hospital, which is struggling to fill open positions.
Our staffing has improved compared to previous years, but we're still, at these types of times, still short, and we still have open positions for nursing staff, NACs, and other important team members.
Fewer staff members to oversee patients means fewer beds available. Fewer hospital beds means more patients staying in ER beds while they wait to be admitted. And the more ER beds filled, the longer new patients coming into the ER will have to wait to be seen.
We're still looking at an off-campus emergency department, but that is months to a year plus in the future. So at this point, it's not a solution for today's surge.
That's why they're asking people with non-emergent conditions to avoid the ER when possible.
If you can avoid going to a place where all the sick people in the community are coming, it's probably better for your health overall. So again, if you have a non-emergent condition and it can go to an urgent care clinic or your primary care provider, you're best served there.
They're also asking people to mask up, get vaccinated, and make sure they're washing their hands, especially when they're spending holiday time with their loved ones. Reporting from the Yakima Newsroom, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
Thanks, Emily. And experts say wearing a mask in crowds is one of the best things you can do to protect against diseases and also from spreading them. You can also reduce your risk of getting sick by washing your hands often or by using hand sanitizer. And it's not too late to get vaccinated. Vaccines are available to protect against COVID-19, the flu, and RSV. And Thanksgiving week is upon us, so is holiday travel with busy airports and roadways all across the country. TSA says typically Tuesday and Wednesday ahead of Thanksgiving are the busiest travel days for the skies, with 2.6 million people expected to be screened tomorrow. But ABC's Melissa Adon says the forecast this week may pose a challenge to get you to the table on time.
As America prepares for Thanksgiving, those traveling to their destination expecting busy airports and roads. TSA says this Thanksgiving holiday is set to break records, expecting to screen 30 million people, the highest number of Thanksgiving air travelers since 2005.
The skies will be extremely busy this Thanksgiving. We're expecting almost 50,000 flights on Wednesday.
Already airports across the country filling up with passengers. The best advice to get there early.
You need to be at the airport 2 hours before your flight.
And if you are driving to your destination this year, AAA says 49 million people are expected to hit the roads.
Wednesday has notoriously been the worst day to be on the roads before Thanksgiving, and that time frame between 2 and 6 p.m. is the worst time to be on the road, because at that point you're mixing holiday travelers on the roads with commuters, people who have to work on Wednesday.
Some severe weather is threatening travel, with storms expected across the Northeast tomorrow through Wednesday. But some good news, gas prices dropping to a national average of $3.31, according to AAA.
The gas prices are that low, I'm definitely going to be making it.
And in Los Angeles, the I-10 freeway reopening ahead of the Thanksgiving travel rush after a major portion had shut down last week following a massive fire.
All right, again, the busiest time to hit the roads is Wednesday, but experts say if you want to beat the traffic, you should leave Wednesday morning, leave after 6 p.m., or just travel on Thanksgiving.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Stacy Lee.
And let's see what our weather is going to be doing for the next couple of days heading into Thanksgiving. This is our weather pattern at least through Tuesday. So here's our jet right on top of us. That cold air still spilling in from Canada. That's going to change, and we are going to start to see a system move in. Now, the majority of the system stays to the north, but as the jet stream starts to change on Tuesday, that's going to push some of that moisture in. So we'll see wet conditions on the west side of the state making their way across the Cascade Mountains and potentially to the Columbia Basin. Let's take a look at that northerly flow. That's which way the winds are coming this evening. And then overall, though, we're going to start to see more showers moving into the area late Tuesday into Wednesday. Now, if you are hitting the road, like they said, Wednesday is going to be that busy travel day. You may encounter some showers. Now, looking at Snoqualmie Pass between Columbia Basin, Tri-Cities, Yakima into the Seattle area, you may encounter some heavy rain showers and possibly a few snowflakes. But at this time, snow levels are supposed to remain high. But again, those temperatures in the 50s, 40s and 50s, that is 47 on Thanksgiving Day in Seattle, dropping down into the 40s. If you're going to Portland, again, that I-84 Columbia River Gorge Road, you may run into some showers and wet conditions. We'll see that on Wednesday, but things start to dry out in Portland on Thanksgiving Day, so that's good news. Temperatures in the 50s, overnight lows there in the 40s. And if you're heading north to the Spokane region, look for those showers once again on that important travel day of Wednesday. And we could see patchy fog between Columbia Basin and Yakima, and between Spokane, with a 10% chance of showers on Thursday, so not too bad. Right now, 35 degrees on our Dust Devil Sky Cam. Our winds are at 5 miles per hour. Our feels like temp is 31. It is chilly. So far, the fog is staying at bay. We see mostly clear skies all through the area this evening. Let's take a look at those temperatures for tonight. 20s and 30s, everybody down below the freezing level. So if we do see that fog developing in Hermiston or Tri-Cities and Walla Walla, it could be in the form of freezing fog, making those roads pretty slick. Temperatures up the Yakima Valley in the 20s, so very chilly night tonight. Going to want to grab that coat for tomorrow. Tomorrow's daytime highs just barely getting above 40 degrees in the Tri-Cities, trying to in Walla Walla at 40. A little bit warmer up the valley with Yakima at 43, Ellensburg at 41. Let's plan your day for tomorrow. Again, foggy conditions possible in the Columbia Basin. Chilly out the door at 8. We'll see those temperatures struggle to make it up to 40 during the day, and then we drop right back down into the 30s. Yakima, same thing, 30 degrees out the door, 40s by the midday, back down to the 30s at night. Walla Walla, chilly day, a little cloudy, hopefully no fog there. 31 to start your morning, hopefully making it up to 40 by the afternoon. And in Hermiston, that's where we could see that fog developing, which could be in the form of freezing fog in the morning. Here's a quick look at that planning forecast. Not bad, though, for our Thanksgiving. Look at our turkey dancing. He looks pretty happy there. So a little fog, a little overcast, those showers developing late Tuesday into Wednesday, more than likely looking at dry conditions on Thursday. Here's Walla Walla. Again, happy turkey there in Hermiston, but there is a slight chance of showers as we get to Turkey Day in Walla Walla. And look for those showers Tuesday to Wednesday. By Wednesday night, most of the showers will be out of the area. We'll have clear, cool conditions headed for the holiday. Lots more to talk about, including your reason to smile. Alyssa?
Thanks, Stacey. Well, UW and WSU have been playing an annual rivalry game since before the Pac-12 existed. Now we've learned the Apple Cup will continue even after UW leaves. But the tradition is going to look very different after this year. We're talking about that next on this primetime edition of Apple Valley News Now.
In the search for epic bargains, one grocery store will stop at nothing to make sure you save more on the brands you love. Starring produce and you as the super saver in Bargain Bliss.
Bliss.
Todd, we talked about this.
But our deals are just so epic.
I know, Todd. I know.
Grocery outlet, bargain market.
Did you know Ustria Health has 3 full-time board-certified orthopedic surgeons? Pain in your hands, knees, hips, or shoulders can reduce your quality of life. Orthopedic doctors repair bone, joint, ligament, and tendon injuries, which can relieve debilitating pain. Our surgeons treat tendonitis and carpal tunnel, repair broken bones and fractures, and replace painful, worn-out joints, putting you back in motion. Ustria Health, exceptional rural health care close to home.
Top Tree Service is committed to providing the best service and experience possible, from the first call to schedule your estimate through our final after-service follow-up call, ensuring complete satisfaction. Your trees are valuable assets, and we ensure our ISA-certified arborists will protect your investment. The health and safety of your trees are our top priority. Call today to schedule a free estimate and experience the Top Tree Service difference for yourself.
Collective Soul, the 30th anniversary celebration, live in concert. January 18th, Legends Casino Hotel, Toppenish. An evening with Collective Soul. Buy tickets now at Ticketmaster and the Legends Casino gift shop. Come celebrate 30 years with Collective Soul. January 18th at Legends Casino Hotel, Toppenish.
That's right.
The next generation of streaming is here. Introducing Spectrum One Stream with internet, advanced Wi-Fi, mobile, and now TV with the all-new Xumo Stream Box. It's streaming simplified. Get Spectrum One Stream with fast and reliable internet for $49.99 a month. Free advanced Wi-Fi, a free unlimited mobile line, and a free Xumo Stream Box when you add Spectrum TV. Go to spectrum.com/stream, a Spectrum store, or call 833-976-4999.
In your business headlines this evening, ousted OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is now joining Microsoft to lead its new artificial intelligence research team. Microsoft, which is ChatGPT's parent's biggest investor, hired Altman just days after he was fired from OpenAI, the company he co-founded. Now, a key factor apparently was Altman's push to develop AI more aggressively, leading to some tensions with the board. Altman's exit was followed by departures of other top-ranking executives, and more than 500 employees are also threatening to quit if the OpenAI board doesn't resign. We're looking ahead to Apple Cup weekend, and good news, this will not be the last one. Even though UW is leaving the Pac-12 next year, WSU and UW have agreed in principle to keep the Apple Cup going for at least another 5 years. So the plan is it'll be a non-conference matchup, which means no more holiday weekend games. I'm sorry. The 2024 Apple Cup will be September 14th at Lumen Field, then in Pullman for 2025 and 2027, Seattle for 2026 and 2028.
It's going to be different being in September, right? And those are some of the things that, you kind of look at it and the bigger bittersweet aspect of it. But at the end of the day, this rivalry needs to continue. We're playing for the Apple Cup. That means something to every person that wears the Coug. Every man that's been in our locker room is very important to him.
All right, we're going to take one more look at your forecast coming up in just a moment. But first, Stacey Lee has your reason to smile.
Well, there you have it. That morning fog, we may be seeing that once again tomorrow. Thanks for sharing, Susan Elias. Remember, if you'd like to have your weather photo featured, just get outside, snap it, and send it to me, S. Lee, at AppleValleyNewsNow.com. Your Reason to Smile is brought to you by West Richland Family Dental and Prime Dental in Pasco.